Suddenly she heard a well-known sound. It was he. In 2 strides he was near her, embraced, kissed, and caressed her. Henry! What is love? She asked. He answered, well, I couldn't live without. She asked, oh, I'm sorry. She was left-handed.
Hello everybody, I hope that's managed to raise a smile at the beginning of this new year, and a very happy new year to you. The sketch is by Victor Borge, whose birthday we recall today in 1909 in Copenhagen. He was a 20th century comedian, musician, composer. And in this sketch that you heard part of there, he points out that in reading something, we have the help of punctuation that helps us to get the sense of things, full stops and commas and inverted commas, help us to understand what's going on in a way that wouldn't happen if the words just ran straight into each other. But he points out that you don't have the same help in speech, and so what he did there was to provide noises in place of punctuation. He explains it like this.
Therefore, I have invented the phonetic punctuation, which means that while we talk, we shall use punctuation marks by giving them sound, like a period, for instance. Every time you finish a sentence, you want a period, you just do, then we know it's all over. Here's a dash. That was period and dash. Exclamation point is a vertical dash with a period underneath. Here's a comma. Quotation are 2 commas, or if you happen to be left-handed, question mark is rather difficult. And finally we have the colon. You know, the 2 little dots, you put them either over or under each other, as you feel like. I think in America you usually put them over each other. See, in Denmark we put them under each other, but that's just a small country. Colon sounds like this. And that is all you have to learn.
It made me think at the beginning of this new year how important it is for us in our lives to make some spaces, to take stock at different moments in different ways of what's going on in our lives. If our lives were just one long run of activity, they would mean a great deal less than if occasionally we're able to stop and reflect, or to take a pause between one activity and another in order to shift gear. We need those moments just to slow down and just to take a moment before moving on to the next thing, or to take a longer gap to make sure that in our lives there are moments of real recuperation and refreshment. And so at the beginning of this new year, that's one of my resolutions. And perhaps for all of us, it's not a bad idea to try and build into our busy lives, which probably for many of us could just consist of one long series of activities, to build into our busy lives moments when we deliberately have a full stop, or maybe just a comma, in order to refresh ourselves and to give meaning to what we're doing before we move on.
Through the open window there suddenly came light. Beautiful Elinor sat alone, dreaming of but one thing. 2 years had passed since she met Sir Henry. She could still remember the unhappy evening when her father had thrown him out. They had been sitting in the park, and Henry had said, "Darling, is this the first time you have loved?" And she had answered, "Yes, but it is so wonderful that I hope it will not be the last." Suddenly she heard a well-known sound. It was he. In 2 strides he was near her, embraced, kissed, and caressed her. Henry! What is love? She asked. He answered, well, I couldn't live without. She asked, oh, I'm sorry. She was left-handed. Where have all your thoughts been this while? He answered, with thee, O maiden. Let me turn the page. Suddenly he was gone. All she heard was the well-known sound of his departing horse. The end.